Right, May 11th, problem still persists, critical condition. Officers relativising longest he's not been locked up for internal transgressions and guilty. Pulling every single bit of my power of my own life out into interactions with detective constables where they've told me should have gone guilty. So they've opened the institutionalisation process into an interaction knowing full well or with the full intentions of institutionalising somebody every minute or every day at the individual's expense. Struggling to breathe, critical condition, pressing on my internal organs, my power to speak for myself or communicate getting worse and worse. The pressure on my skull and the actual enormity of what they've done, because they've been pulling my life out and my jaw's laid shut, I've said is worse than any extermination camp, any gassings, any war crimes, any tragic tsunamis or any kind of death through fatal accidents, any chemical incidents. These are all horrific deaths that have happened under capitalism, and there's not much worse than my entire life internalised, having crime committed against me with my jaw completely wired shut. I couldn't express to anybody how serious it is what they've done. They snagged the power of my own life over 10 years and flooded for it every day. So behind my eyes, he's just welded shut and encapsulated my life in a controlled state. So they're pulling my drive of my own life out every day and internalising it. So behind me speaking or communicating now, there's a full lifetime, about 15 years or 20 years worth of power welding my jaw shut and in a controlled state, stopping me getting power, they pulled out all my sex drive, sex power. The pressure on my internal organs is vast. If they ever brought it forward, it could, like I said, it's nearly killed me twice. That's no joke. And they often relativise nowhere near you. Talk shit. The process itself can kill you outright, and it's nearly killed me twice through severe pain. But I'm going to be quite honest now, it could be 3 times. But on the 3rd time, there wasn't sharp, significant, iris, serious pain, but I could just smell severe burning. So I'm going to be quite honest now, even from a working class point of view outright, they could have killed me 3 times using the process. And if they ever bring it forward, it's going to kill me because they snagged my ability to breathe, so it'll suffocate somebody. That's why when they open an institutional self, and the problem I've got with it, they're still carrying it on and it's costing me every day of my life. So they haven't opened it once. They haven't been doing this for 1 day. They're doing it 3,000 times a day, bombarding me with internal transgressions, internalising my life, and it's pressing on my internal organs. And the enormity of it, or the scale of it, is that much now. I've got an entire lifetime snagged in an institutional self. So that's what I'm trying to summarise. They've been using it for that long and been bombarding me with internal transgressions for that long now, which is well before I've got a conviction, gone guilty or indifferent. They've internalised a full lifetime in an institutional self that's physical. So it's got physical control over you. There's 15 to 20 years in it causing severe high risk suppression on my internal organs. That's what that sound is. And it's nearly killed me 3 times over various years. 213, 216 and again in 221. They've nearly killed me 3 times in the last 12 years with a process on me where it's afflicting crippling pain. But they haven't just killed me 3 times. This is now every day that they've been flooding for it, which is causing crippling agony every day, squashing my internal organs, my jaw's completely wired shut. Like I've said, to summarise, they've pulled out that much life now internally. There's a full physical encapsulated self brought forward on me snagging my power. They snagged my sex power, my ability to breathe, my ability to think for myself in a brain dead state. Been living on the street 2 years, not being forced into sexual degrading, sexual humiliation. Guilty every day. They commit crime against me every day, humiliating my power, making it my issue to go guilty in court. So they've made their own imposition. If I don't go guilty, they're going to commit crime against me every day and made it my problem. Not a chance. All I put up with 300,000 times a day is Ashters replicating, saying sorry into my power of my own life, inflicting crippling humiliation. 3,000 times a day, replicating an apology, saying 3,000 times a day, saying sorry 3,000 times a day into my power whilst inflicting barbaric humiliation and degrading, committing crime against me. So I'm a victim of crimes 3,000 times a day, using me as a punch bag. My jaw's completely wired shut. Behind my eyes, there's two prongs. They've physically wired my jaw shut with a process brought forward. I cannot speak. I'm slurring words. I don't sleep. there needs to be more regulation on what they're doing and what they're trying to cover up as mental illness, because it's worse than any crime against humanity I've ever seen in my entire life. What they're doing. Critical condition, Irish transgressions, walking on the relativising. Longest he's not been locked up for, which has got nothing to do with my thought process, my power in society, or anything to do with what I'm doing in reality. So the relativising shit that's going on in its system and making me aware of what's going on in its system that's got nothing to do with my life at all, my power in society. I've just been to pick up 3 sandwiches from a recycling place or a recycling person. Got nothing to do with jail whatsoever. The relativising longest he's not been in jail for in internal transgressions. It's got nothing that terminology or that sentence has not played any role in my life whatsoever ever, from what I can remember, especially in of recent times. It's nothing to do with my power and got nothing to do with my life. So they're committing crime against me in internal transgressions that's coming out of their heads. The relativising longest he's not been locked up for, that plays no role in my life whatsoever. It plays no role in anything that's going on in society. They say you're hearing voices. They've internalised my power over my own life and they commit crime against me all day, every day, 3,000 to 5,000 times a day, replicating sorry, should have gone guilty, liar, have you learned your lesson yet, longest he's not been locked up for. Vast array of just pure shit costing me every day of my life in internal breaking sessions, relativising into my power over my own life, because they snagged my entire power into an interaction, or drive over my own life into interactions with detective constables so they can communicate or relativise shit all day. They've created my life internally. So they're creating the institutional self internally, relativising shit all day and rubbish all day that's got nothing to do with my life. They've stripped out all my sex drives, all my sex power. Critical condition, smelly pussy, smelly fanny, that was all happening all yesterday and today, that plays no role in my life. They've stripped out every single bit of my sex drives or sex power, committing crime against my sex drives, relativising smelly pussy while inflicting crippling, degrading and humiliation. They've stripped out every single bit of my sex drives, relativising obscenities of that nature. So I've got to be subject to internal transgressions that plays no role with my life or in my society today. But when I turn up in a police station or probation office wanting to know why my life's being bombarded with accusations internally with smelly pussy and smelly fanny, they don't want to know. If I say that to them, they'll want to lock me up. So they need to start accounting for what that is, because they're saying you're mentally ill. It's got nothing whatsoever to do. What it does it. It's a funny mental illness when I don't even know what it is. It plays no role in my life. So the transgressions they're bombarding me with, it isn't within my vocabulary or power. It's not within my lifetime. So the shit they're coming out with internally in internal breaking sessions, committing crime against me, is all in conjunction with their own minds. It's not smelly pussy, smelly fanny, plays no role in my life. Stripping out all my sex power, internal breaking sessions all day, critical condition. They needed to start regulating what it is that they're actually using with this institutionalisation, because they're committing more crimes in an institutional self today. Just today, they've committed more crimes in my institutional self to blame for mental illness than what's gone through the courtrooms in my city this week. Smelly pussy, liar, my entire life's been stripped out into guilty, I've been in crippling pain and agony, I've had very limited sleep all day, from the moment I've woken up till now where I cannot breathe, 10 o'clock at night, all day.